I'm going to be showing you the best-selling foundation in the US and this brand's #1 worldwide bestseller. I'm also going to show you a great dupe that I love from the drugstore that is $30 less, 30. Let's get into it. The foundation in question, of course, is Estée Lauder's Double Wear Foundation, which is the best-selling foundation, period, in the US, according to a market survey done by, I think, a company called Circana, which tracks these sorts of things. And this is according to an advertisement by Estée Lauder. It is also this brand, so Estée Lauder's #1 best-selling worldwide foundation. So of all the foundations, it's got the top spot in the US. It sells more than any other, apparently. And worldwide, it might not be the top seller, but is the top seller for the Estée Lauder brand, if that makes sense. The best dupe for this foundation, and one that I think is actually better, because this is very expensive. This is $52 where I live. I'm in Canada. It'll be less if you're in the US. This is $30, $30 less. And this is Revlon's Color Stay, and this is their long wear formulation. And I actually think this is better. We're gonna do a test, one on one side, one on the other. So speaking of tests, if you really love foundation and you're deciding between this one and maybe not this one, but other ones that are on the market that are pricey, I would strongly suggest you check out my YouTuber friend Shelly's channel, Geek Out of Water. She is a foundation reviewer around my age with dry skin. And my goodness, she tests pretty much everything that's out there. So if there's a foundation you're wondering about, she's probably tested it. So right off the hop, my first issue with Estée Lauder's Double Wear is the container that it comes in. It comes with a screw lid and you have to pour out the amount that you want. It doesn't come with a pump. This one is, as we said, $30 cheaper and it has a pump. If you want a pump for this one, you can get one. Once in a while on Estée Lauder's site proper, they will offer a pump that's free with purchase, but typically it is, I think, $16 to purchase just the pump. So you're $52 for this, and if you want a pump, which is reusable, but still, you have to fork out another $16 for that. To me, that is egregious. Like, nobody should be doing that in the luxury beauty world. Just package it properly with a pump so you can keep it for longer and you don't have to keep sticking your hands on this thing. But anyway, okay, if I had to make one overall observation about this foundation, I would say that it is like, I'm gonna put it on this side actually, it is like paint. Man, once it goes on, they're not joking about, you know, they market it as 24-hour long wear. And yes, I like to apply it with my finger because it's expensive, and expensive foundations I find just go longer. When you use your finger, when you use a brush, not so much. Okay, I put foundation on my eyelid and I've got a blue vein there, and I don't know if you noticed, it just covered it. This stuff can cover, it can cover just about anything. And it says it's a soft matte. I disagree, I think it's a full matte. This stuff is like stage makeup. And you'll see this spot here on my hand, this will oxidize. So that's another issue that I find with this. It's not my exactly perfect color because it's got a bit of a rosy undertone that I think I lack. But that is one of the pros of this. The pro of it is that there are so many shades. I think there are over 50 shades. That's a lot. I mean, I got it to hand to them. They've done well in that regard. Okay, so I like to start with my finger and just get it on there as best I can, and then just work it with the brush a bit. Have a look, see? It's kind of taken away any shine whatsoever on this side. People that tend to love this foundation tend to be from very, very hot places with a lot of humidity where their foundation is just coming off right away. I don't live in that kind of area. I'm in Canada, but I'm hearing about women in Alabama, Louisiana, Florida, where it is just so hot in the summer. A lot of them say this is the only one that lasts and lasts and lasts and doesn't melt off. But it is a very divisive foundation. I feel like people either really like it or they hate it, and there's not a lot in between. I might be kind of in between. I think that I can use it in the summer, but it looks kind of terrible in the winter. It's just too drying and therefore kind of aging, to be honest. I find that it really accentuates any flaws in my face because it is just too matte and not a lot of skin actually shows through. The good thing is you can have this forever because you do not need a lot. I'm talking just a couple drops, probably half of what you need of other foundations. It just goes and goes and goes. Another interesting fact about this, it came to the market in 1997, so it's been around a long time. It really has that 90s look. Even when it oxidizes, it just has that matte, no dimension, because we did not have a lot of dimension in our makeup in the 90s, and it's really good for getting that particular look. Now, before I do the other side of my face with this Revlon Color Stay, I would like to encourage you to sign up for my newsletter. I am a writer. I wrote an article called What Everybody Gets Wrong About Exercise and How I Got Fit the Easy Way. So if you're interested in reading that, go ahead and sign up for my newsletter, and you can even read the article right now. It's not a download or anything. You know, even if you don't sign up, you can still read the article. So go and check that out. I'll link it up in all the places you get links. So on this side, I'm just gonna go in with my Color Stay, which has that handy pump. For me, one of the biggest knocks against this stuff is that it does not have that pump. I think that is, as I said, unforgivable. So this is a much more watery formulation, and they've reformulated this slightly. So the one that you see in my hand here is not exactly what it looks like now. It now says hyaluronic acid, and there's like blue lettering on it. But I'm gonna imagine that it's also a long wear that works relatively the same. I just love this one so much more, and I cannot believe the price differential. I mean, $52 Canadian for the Estée Lauder. This one you can get for $22, sometimes even on sale. You know, a lot of these places put their makeup on sale. You just gotta keep your eye out for a sale, in which case it will be below $20. So then you're looking at over $32 in difference. That's crazy. That means you can get 2 bottles of this and still have a little left over for like a Revlon lipstick or something like that. So I don't know what they're playing at, but you know what? Even $52 is a lot of money, but that's the price of luxury foundation. I don't know what happened, but luxury foundation is incredibly expensive. I've spent like $60 and plus on NARS foundations. So I worked this one in just so that we're applying it the same way. I worked it in with some fingers, and then I'm gonna just, you know, kind of work it in with a brush like this. What do we think? I think that they are very, very similar. I think that if someone were sitting in the room with me, they would not know that one side was Estée Lauder's 24-hour long wear, and the other side was Revlon Color Stay. I don't think anybody would be able to tell the difference. So I'm gonna show you my hands, where you're gonna see it's very apparent the oxidization that Estée Lauder Double Wear Foundation has, at least this particular kind in this particular shade. You're gonna see that it does not dry down that great. Let's have a closer look here. You can see very clearly where the foundation is. And if I wash this off with soap and water, it will still be stained all day. So that's the other point about this foundation. It is like stage makeup. Once you put it on, it clings. It is very, very hard to get it off. You have to definitely double cleanse with, boy, does it ever stain. I would say it actually just stains your skin. That's how it works. That's why it has so much longevity and true long wear, but it oxidizes a little bit funny. It kind of makes it more golden rosy than it actually is. In contrast, you can barely see it, but where I put the same amount, if not more, on this hand, and you really can't see it as well. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, you can see definitely that this is stained here, and it's oxidized a different color than it was originally. And over here, it's blended in quite nicely to my hand, and underneath my hand, sorry, this is very strange to do. You can see that it looks like skin underneath, and there is sort of no skin effect on the Estée Lauder side of it all. Yeah, this is one of the weirder poses I've ever made. Most definitely in my life. Now that I've got my hands up here, you can see that it's a bit more golden, and that's not the fault of the foundation. So that's not a con at all, other than it does oxidize from the original color. It becomes more golden in this particular case, more rosy golden than I had hoped for, and that's why I got it home, and it's kind of not exactly right. Whereas this one doesn't oxidize, doesn't change at all. The color that comes in the bottle, the color you put on your hand, the color you brush on when it dries down, looks exactly the same. I don't know if you can see this, but one thing I'm noticing now that I've got one on one side and the other on the other side is that if you look here, you'll see more skin showing through. I have kind of drier skin. That's why I find this sometimes to be a bit overkill, but you'll see on this side, it's taken away everything. Like, there is no shine here. It is quite matte. This is a true soft matte, the Revlon Color Stay. This is I don't know why it's marketed as a full matte, as a soft matte. Maybe it is a soft matte on some types of oilier skin types, but for me, this is a full matte. I would never want to be more matte than this. You'll find also sort of throughout the day, it sort of can gather a bit in the lines and stuff like that, which does happen with matte makeup sometimes. You will not have to reapply it though. I guess that is one plus side. My goodness. It is on there until you have to scrub it off, basically, at least for me anyway, because I don't have oily skin. I mean, you guys can tell I'm not any kind of makeup artist. I am just a regular woman, like, just trying not to overspend on things as best I can, but I'm not even that good at that sometimes. Again, you'll want to sign up for my newsletter because I write stuff about like how to get coupons and stuff like that from Sephora or like new products that I've been testing. I always write about it first before I make a video. So if that's of interest to you, it comes to your inbox completely free. Oh, and speaking of Sephora, I didn't want to neglect to mention to you that I have a video about how I get like the best coupon codes from Sephora. It's actually really easy, so I'll make sure at the end of this video, just stay tuned for that, I will link that up. I've used foundation basically as my eyelid primer, which you're not really supposed to do, but I do anyway because it's my life and that's how I want to live it. All right, once again, I'm just going to show you just to really make the point here that this side is like stage makeup. Nothing is coming through. You can look right particularly here. You can see how much more shine I have on this side. And I would say, you know, you could be like, oh, maybe it's just how you applied it right now. No, it's always like that. The Estée Lauder, that's been around a long time. I mean, it's been around, what, over 25 years now? So obviously there's got to be something to it. That's a lot. That's a long time for one foundation to be kicking it and still, you know, being a top seller, basically. I just feel like it's overkill for most situations. And there's probably ways you could play with it, like add moisturizer, make it a little less intense, but just straight out of the bottle, I mean, I don't need that much coverage most of the time. Okay, I made the questionable decision to leave my house with my hair looking like this. It is a straight up mess. It's an absolutely boiling hot day, quite humid as well, and it's holding up really well, but I think there's actually not much difference. Let me come into the full sun. I don't think there's much difference between the sides. You tell me. It does everything it says it's gonna do, but I think for the money, considering you get an extra 30 bucks back if you don't purchase the Estée Lauder, I feel like this Color Stay is a much better foundation. Now, I wanna talk to you just really quickly about how to get that foundation. If this one gets in your brush and you can't get the color out and it's stained, I'm gonna tell you the really easy, almost free way to do it. You have probably found that using just like a bar of soap, even if it's like soap with more moisturizing elements in it, doesn't really take it out completely. This is what I do. You need 1 teaspoon of Dawn dishwashing liquid. You add 1 teaspoon of baking soda to the bottom of like a drinking glass or something like that. And then you use 1 teaspoon of water. So 1 Dawn, 1 baking soda, 1 teaspoon of water, right? You stick your brush down in there and you just rub it all together, and you know, you can maybe walk away for a little bit if you need to go drink your coffee, come back, and you'll find already that a lot of the makeup has been taken out of it. This is our Real Techniques foundation brush, and it's actually my favorite, even of more expensive ones. And you'll find that just those 3 things together will come together a bit and make this really wonderful stain removing solution that takes the color out of your brushes. It's the only thing that I found that has worked. I have tried the Dr. Bronner soap. I've tried the sort of expensive makeup remover solutions. This is the one that works best. So if you're having trouble with this foundation, clinging in your brushes or any other kind of makeup, give that technique a try. If you like this product, if you like foundation, I'm gonna guess you do a little bit of shopping at Sephora. So once again, as I had mentioned before, I'm gonna link up that video. Go ahead and watch that next, and thanks for watching.